and welcome to another episode of the Dreaded Archer Podcast. I'm here with my man Clarence. Man, how you doing today?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. I've been reaching out to all the guys on my Instagram that's been following me since I gotten
Yeah,
started, and what I'm saying, you've always like liked my pictures and leaving comments. I'm like, you know what, I got to get my man Clarence on here and chat with him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, man.
Oh yeah. So like all of us around the country, the hunt season just wrapped up. So how
Yeah.
did yours turn out for you?
Uh, I didn't kill nothing on this first year. I didn't kill anything, man.
Oh
but
man,
I
nothing.
saw, I don't know, I saw a lot and learned a lot. I just moved to Colorado, so that's the biggest learning curve is the mountains. So
Oh yeah, I learned that the hard way. This September, on my last year, I was just saying, I went out. I mean, all year long, I called myself working out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Running, carrying my pack up and down hills, walking trails and stuff, thinking that this is gonna get me in shape. And
yeah,
I'm telling you, 30 minutes into the hunt, we were down by Montrose.
Montrose, yeah,
Yep. And we were at I forgot the trailhead, but we started walking in, and I was telling you, 30 minutes in, I was hurting, man.
yeah.
I was hurting.
Oh man,
So yeah, that
no feeling.
Colorado terrain is rough.
Yeah, oh yeah. uh,
So
biggest, I don't know what biggest thing from the Midwest too is like the hunting densities are lower. Like you don't see as many deer, you don't see as many turkey. You got to work a lot harder to see them. It seemed like too.
oh yeah, we're over in Colorado or
Yeah, in Colorado versus I don't know. I feel like in Missouri, like where I moved from, I could probably go and kill a doe today if I wanted to. You know what I
right.
mean? It's not the same here.
Oh, I would think it'd be more, people talk about Colorado having just the, amazing hunting. I thought you'd walk
Oh
out
yeah,
and see deer everywhere.
yeah. It's amazing, man. But you know what I mean? It's just so vastly different from every unit to the next, and the I would say what the habitats and everything, and just trying to figure out like how to always get into them every time. Like when you watch the hunting videos, I don't know how many days you had like that to where it felt like you was Randy Newberg or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I like so when you watch the hunting videos, those guys go out, and it seems like every time they go out,
Yeah,
they're following a herd. They're getting elk to bugle back to them. Something, and
yeah,
oh man, if it's gonna be like this, then
yeah,
hey, we gonna be out there for a couple days, and we're gonna wrap it up, bring home something in the cooler.
yeah,
And it was not like that at all. We were bugling and bugling, and
yeah.
I kid you not, we were there for 5 days, and we didn't hear a bull bugle at all.
Wow,
And yeah, we were hunting down in I think Unit 52.
52. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that one up. I was
Man,
I tried to take it easy. I moved to Colorado Springs, so I was hunting right outside of Colorado Springs. It's like Unit 511, and man, I finally got an elk. I took a 10-day vacation from work. I got an elk like consistently, probably on day 7. So man, I learned a lot though.
I think that's the best part. Just get
Yeah,
was that your first elk hunt?
yes, first one.
Yeah, I think like going into it for me, the whole thing is if I kill something, that's great, but I need to get boots on the ground and actually go see what's actually going on
Yeah,
and prep.
yeah.
No, well not prep, but like what I'm saying, get the experience first, and then the eventually the harvest will come.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But it was rough, and we actually we ran across this guy. He was bow hunting as well, but I think
Mm,
he was just hunting like squirrels and stuff or something. He had a traditional bow, longbow, and he was
nice.
telling us like he was like, yeah, Unit 52. He goes, don't bugle to him. He goes,
Okay.
it's so heavily pressured that like people bugle to him all the time, and they know like that. Don't even respond. Just keep on moving. So we were actually
Yeah.
every time we would get on them, we could smell them, and we'd
Wow.
bugle, and we noticed they move, and we
They move.
bugle, and they move. I'm like, goodness gracious, like they supposed to bugle back. They not playing by the rules. You're supposed to bugle back.
Yeah.
So it was it was a hard time. It was a hard time, but it was we got we fig we figured it out, got our game plan for next year, and
Yeah.
after our hunt, we kind of had like a recap. Like we sat in the truck, was like, "What do we do wrong?" And we had a whole list of stuff we did wrong. What we
Yeah.
do right, and we go small list of what we did right. And it
Yeah.
was like, all right, next year we got to have more stuff on this side than this side, and hopefully, we'll have some success.
Yeah, man, for sure. That's I guess once you figure it out, man, we'll all be happy then, man. But I'm determined though. I'm determined. I can't wait. Can't wait for it to come back.
I know it seems like you prep all year long, and
Yeah.
then the season comes and you look up and it's over. We're like, man, that's it. So it's like it's constantly like when I play football,
Yeah.
I always had in my head it's never off season. You're always doing something. So with hunting, there's no
Yep.
off season.
No.
You're prepping as soon as the season ends. You're prepping for the next season. So
Yep.
I think
Yep.
that's how you start having more success.
Yeah, man. For sure.
So
Uh,
how did you get into hunting?
oh man, I really don't. I don't know. I really don't know because at the time I didn't know anybody who was really hunting. I just kind of. I bought my first gun. And I was just like, man, what can I actually use it for? I mean, legally speaking. I mean,
Right.
so then after that, I was like, kind of stumbled across some hunting stuff, and it was like, I want to try hunting. I went to Walmart, got a rifle. I didn't even sight it in, and I was living in Missouri at the time, and I think I went to, I don't know, I just started looking up public land, and I went out during the rifle season. I shot a buck on the second day of being out there. It was like I didn't even sight the rifle in or anything, man. I got it done.
How far was the shot?
Ah, I couldn't even tell you. I was walking through the woods and I happened to see a random tree stand and I climbed in it and just kind of waited there and one came out. It was like all the stars aligned that day.
I mean, that's kind of what I do. Like whenever I'm on public land,
Yeah,
like I have a climber that I bring sometimes, but I just kind of look for stands that are out there. And here in South Dakota, for some odd reason, guys put up stands and they never take them down.
yeah,
So in my pack, I keep like 3 or 4 ratchet straps. I'm just like gonna climb up in one, and because I don't know how
yeah,
long it's been there, so I'll climb up there and I'll get it good and tight, and I'll sit up there and see what comes along. But
yeah.
unfortunately, I have not had the pleasure of harvesting a deer on public land yet.
Man,
It's little pickets up here, man.
yeah, yeah. I hear you. Well, I don't know. I don't know much about South Dakota deer hunting. I know you guys got great duck hunting, and
I've never duck hunted up here.
man, I hear South Dakota's the place to go for it.
Yeah, yeah, and dude, if you go up north, like northern South Dakota, I mean, I hear guys talk about it all the time. And
Yeah.
I'm originally from like the Texarkana, Texas area. It's on the
Okay.
border of Texas and Arkansas.
Yeah.
So, down in Arkansas, that's duck hunting is big. Get into some of the flooded timber,
Oh yeah.
hunting mallards, wood ducks.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's it's a thing, and I've done it a couple times. I've never killed a drake mallard or mallard drake. Never killed one. I've always gotten like ring necks and I think call them blackjacks or something like that, but never gotten any like the big ducks, or
Yeah.
Canadian geese. But I just like being out there and doing it. But I haven't done it here in South Dakota yet. I need to. And everybody I talk to is like, bro, you got to get into it. I'm like, yeah, but duck hunting is right in the middle of deer hunting, so
Yeah.
I want a deer hunt.
Man, what in South Dakota you guys got mule deer too?
Yes, we got mule deer on the west side of the state.
On the west side. Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. So South Dakota is it's divided by the Missouri River. So you got the east side or East River, and then you got West River.
Gotcha.
There's some good hunting East River,
Mm,
but if you want the big body buck, that's because a lot of ag field out there on the west side. You
yeah.
want to go to the west side and hunt. And the mule deer, they're out in the Badlands, and I mean, they're massive out there. So a lot, a
Yeah.
lot of a lot of guys out of state come in and do archery hunting for mule deer because you're basically guaranteed a tag.
Wow.
Yeah.
Woo. I'm gonna have to look into that one, man.
Oh yeah.
uh
Now, if you want a rifle tag, you're gonna have to put in for a draw, and you gotta apply for a specific unit or a county. that you want to hunt in. But for archery, you just apply for a statewide tag and go to work.
Yeah, man. Whew. What about
So
I think I saw something else. You guys got bighorn sheep too, don't you?
yeah, we got bighorn sheep, and that's like a once in a lifetime tag.
Yeah. And
So
wait,
like,
you guys got elk also, don't you? Or
yep,
is it?
and that's also
Yeah,
a
I saw
once in
that
a
too.
lifetime tag.
I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah, when I
man,
moved
South
here,
Dakota sound kind of nice. I was like,
oh, it is, but we got well, I mean, you know about the draw system because you're over in
yeah,
Colorado.
yeah.
But like our draw system for elk is ridiculous. So I
Wow.
know guys that they've been putting in, and I'm like real talk, like 30 and 40 years
Whew.
and haven't drawn a tag. But I've also known people that they put in 2 years and looked up and got a tag, and it's one of
Wow.
those things where hunters around the state they've been trying to put together like some kind of like not law, but want to do something with the draw. Like, how about all the guys that's got 20 plus years, give them a tag,
Yeah.
get them off the books, and basically start it over again. Because you got
Yeah.
guys, like I said, they're in it for the. I mean, they've been doing it for a long time and haven't even sniffed the tag. So,
Yeah.
I mean, something's got to change, and it's the same thing with the bighorn sheep.
Mhm.
Now, don't quote me on this, but I think they give out like it's like one or two tags, and then I know they auction one off.
Hmm.
And I think last year one went for like $300,000.
Wow. Whew.
Yeah. So
Oh man.
it's a rare tag, and the sad part about it is if you go out to like Rapid City by like Mount Rushmore and all that, you see them on the side of the road.
Wow.
On the side of the road, you can be in like a grocery store, and they're right over there in the pasture just chilling.
Wow.
So I mean, so it seems like the population is pretty dense, but they're just the state's just not giving out any tags for it,
Yeah.
or not enough anyway.
Yep.
So that's
Man.
how it is, man. So
Oh yeah.
are you originally from Missouri?
No, I moved to Missouri from what was it? I was 18. I had graduated high school in Chicago, and I was running track at the time, and I got recruited to run track at a school in Joplin, Missouri. And I did. I just stayed. I only ran for a year, but I stayed and graduated.
Oh,
So,
like, did you go to was it Missouri Southern?
yep, Missouri Southern State.
Yeah,
Yep.
I had two guys I played high school football with. They went to Missouri Southern. I want to say I think between 2010 and 2013 they were there.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they played
Man,
football.
yeah,
And
I got there in 2012, so I made another one of
wait,
them.
you ever heard of CJ Broaders? He
uh,
he played safety, and then had a guy named Narante Threat.
no, I don't think I met him.
Yeah, but yeah, they played there, so it's wild because I'll talk to people and I'm like, oh, I went to this school. I'm like, hey, I know somebody that went there, and it's just playing college football. You pretty
Yeah.
much know guys from all over. Once you go a bunch of camps and combines and stuff like that, so you meet a lot of people and make a lot of connections.
Yep.
So what was your track event?
I just did long jump, man.
Oh yeah,
Just long jump.
what's your longest jump?
uh, I really didn't advance too much. I got to like 19 when I was in high school, and then that was it pretty much. And I didn't even, I was on a team, but I didn't compete. Basically, walked on and stayed on the team. I wanted to get enough. I stuck with it though. I kept trying. I just didn't do
Hey,
it.
hey, that's what it's all about. I went to school to play football, and I mean, played a couple snaps, but for the most part, I was just on the team. And
Yeah.
after a while, like I want to say probably my junior, no, junior year, no, sophomore
Yeah.
year, I kind of slowly started losing love for the game. It's just
Yeah.
because once you're in college, there's so much going on campus, and
Yeah.
and when events and they got all these different things going on campus, you're in practice and you miss it, and you're like, man, I would have loved to do XYZ,
Yeah.
and then you start all these clubs and fraternities, and I'm like, football is fun. I know I'm not going to NFL, but I'm
Yep.
pretty smart in school and I like all this stuff, so I'm gonna go do that. So I dropped football and became a full-time student and realized like when you're a regular student, you got a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, and man, and I
Yeah.
loved it, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. For
So
sure.
so you say you're from Chicago, so are like you just once you got 18, you was like, you know what, I'm dipping out, I'm leaving.
Uh, yeah, man, pretty much. I love Chicago. I go back to visit and everything, but I don't know. I just they always pushed me when I was a kid to get out of the house, and I don't know. uh, Missouri was just like I don't know. I got accepted. My cousin, he had the same coach whenever he was in college, also. So that really got me there. And
Oh yeah.
he just retired from being a professional long jumper too. So that was kind of nice. I had a little bit of a connection.
Oh heck yeah. Did he go to the Olympics?
Yeah, yeah. I think he went 3 times.
Oh dang. So yeah, so he was out there jumping.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
That was kind of
So
nice.
so do you so I look on your Instagram, you do a lot of fishing, a lot of
Yeah.
hunting.
Yep.
Um do you just keep hunting to like deer and elk, or you know what else do you like hunt?
Turkey, man. Turkey hunting is what really, I don't know, it watching those videos, that's what really got me into it. I was like, man, I really want to go turkey hunting. But it was after the season at the time, so I think I bought a fall tag. I didn't see anything, didn't hear anything, and then that deer season came right up, got into that, and then I did small game, squirrels and all that stuff. I killed the grouse here when I was in Colorado, and then the weirdest thing is I saw a snapping turtle and I had to eat it because I was watching Meat Eater. This big old turtle, man. I couldn't resist.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. It was different. I would just say it wasn't nasty. I wouldn't do it again. Kind of, I was like, man, it wasn't that much of a delicate taste to make me want to do it again. I'd say, but
Yeah, I know when I watch like these hunting shows and I see like they're eating all different kind of animals, I'm like, I want to try that, like at least once. You know what I'm saying? Like I've tried raccoon. Raccoon's not bad. I wouldn't do it again. It's it's too gristly, but I tried. I even told one of my buddies in college, I'm like, you know, I know people don't eat coyotes, but I mean, I wonder if you could eat a coyote.
yeah.
And I think I saw I can't remember what show I was watching. It was on YouTube, but they actually like smoked the coyote. And I'm like, but
Yeah,
I don't. By the look on their face, I don't think I
yeah,
don't think I would ever want to try it.
yeah, man, yeah. I killed a coyote too. I was just getting into that right before I got in, moved to Colorado. But man, coyote hunting looked pretty fun, and
Oh yeah,
especially
so
in like Midwest, man. It was,
and they're everywhere.
yeah. That's why I was like, that that would have been my next hobby right there for sure.
Oh yeah, um, are there a lot of coyotes over in Colorado?
Yeah, there are a lot, but I don't know. I've seen a few, not as many as what I saw in Missouri though. I mean,
Oh yeah, man.
every night you hear coyote.
I've ventured into turkey hunting.
Yeah,
I've only killed one,
yeah,
and it scared me because I was just got my shotgun. I'm on my way to kind of had a little spot that I had carved out for myself. I was gonna sit underneath this little tree, and I saw him out there. It's probably the day before. It was probably like 15 of them out there just kind of chilling. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna chill. On my way to my spot, I don't know. I didn't know they got real low to the ground. So I'm walking through tall grass, probably about to my hip, and I didn't even know turkeys could fly.
yeah,
But this thing just jumped up in front of me, and I'm talking. I just and just boom, just blasted it. And I'm like, oh man, I
yeah,
don't know if I should have shot that because I don't know. Like I don't know if it's a hen
yeah,
or Tom. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad. Because if it's a hen, I'm in trouble.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Oh man,
but when I walked over and picked it up, well, actually, it fell into the creek. So
okay.
it started flowing down the creek, and I'm like, how am I gonna get this thing? So I end up like I found a branch and I kind of like stuck it in the water and like leaned out, and I had my shooting stick, and I'm kind of like poking at it, and I finally got it where it came towards me. Got him like, oh, got a beard, Tom. I'm good. I'm good.
Nice.
But ever since then, I have not been able to get one.
Yeah.
What you call it? I went last year, no, not last year, but this year. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use my bow this time because I'm the dreaded archer. I got to put the gun down. I was gonna use my bow, and
Yeah.
I saw a group of like 3, and I was like, I'm gonna sneak up on them, and I started walking. I get about 40 yards from them, and they run into the tree line, and I was like, well, they gone. So I walk over to the tree line, thinking that they were further in front of me, and I kid you not, Clarence, they both, all 3 of them, jumped up, and I was like, I just screamed out, ah, and, and just jumped back, and then and they went up, came down, and took off, and I was like, well, that's that. That hunt's over with.
Yeah. Yeah. I've only killed one too, but I don't know. I've had so many close encounters, man. I've
Oh yeah, and you learn every time you go out. That's the
yeah.
best part.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully one day I'm a pro at that one, man.
Oh yeah.
But
Hey, I was looking at one of your posts, and
yeah.
I think you had just it was a picture of you had just killed your first buck, and you were
Yeah.
saying like you get to eat 100% organic meat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
That feeling, and I try to explain to like my friends who don't hunt, like
Oh
when
yeah.
you put an animal on the ground, like they say that's when the fun ends, because then you got to pack it out.
Yep.
But when you get that meat home and you put it on the grill,
Oh yeah.
man, yeah, can you explain that experience?
Oh man, it's the most rewarding feeling that you can have. I think it's just beautiful to know you. I mean, you didn't make it, but I mean, you're responsible for going out, finding it yourself, butchering it, processing it, bringing it home. God, I mean, you're cooking it. I mean, the taste, the whole connection that you make with that, it's better than anything that you can go to the grocery store to ever get. I mean, it could be the world's tenderest T-bone steak at the finest steakhouse. It still doesn't compare to that deer that you got yourself.
No, it don't. I'll tell people all the time, I'll take a backstrap over a T-bone any day. Hey, I all day long, throw it on the smoker, man, sit around with your friends, have a couple beers, and then you can
Yep.
share the story on how you got the meat. I mean, to me, that's the best part, is
Oh
sharing it
yeah.
with friends, sharing it with
Oh
friends and
yeah.
family.
Oh yeah. I mean, it. What would you say? I would say it's I don't know. It's a harvest. It's almost the same feeling of like you grew. I don't know. To people who eat a lot of vegetables, you grew your own lettuce, and you got a year's worth of salad, and you pickled it and everything, and it's the same feeling. I think it's just
Oh yeah. Dude, I remember when I was in the 4th grade, we
yeah,
did a little project where you took some seeds and you put them in a bag and you let them sprout, and then you plant it in a starter, and then once it gets bigger, you put it to a bigger pot. Well,
yep,
I grew some sunflower seeds. I think I grew like 5 or 6 of them. Well, only one like actually sprouted,
yep,
and I got it home, put it in a pot, and just watched it grow. And that's something. I mean, that thing got like 7 foot tall, and then we had
yeah,
to take it out of the pot and put it in the ground. And then my dad it was like hanging down, so we had to go out there and tie a little stick and string to it so keep it straight. And once it got big and then it died, and then we took all the seeds off of it and roasted them.
yep,
And like even at that age, I realized there was a connection between me and those sunflower seeds.
yep,
Because, like, I played baseball, so we'd always stop at the gas station and get a pack of sunflower seeds and eat them and spit them out. But it
yep,
seemed like when I had those sunflower seeds and I had a big old like Ziploc bag and I put them in my mouth, it was like something special about it. Like, I grew this. This is
yeah,
mine. And that's how I feel with hunting. When I tell people like, hey, like when I share like backstrap with my friends, I'm like, hey, I put a whole lot of work into getting this deer, man. I hope y'all enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because y'all gonna
oh
be
yeah,
able to taste the meat. Y'all gonna taste that love and passion that
yeah,
in that meat that what I'm saying, that I harvested, and it's amazing.
oh yeah, man. So what all of I saw you kill the pronghorn. You gotta
Oh
tell me about that experience. We get
Man,
to it later though. I think that's a
dude,
big one.
let me tell you about this story. So I I never had any interest in hunting pronghorn.
Yeah.
It wasn't an animal that was on my radar.
Yep.
And I started the Dreaded Archer page on Instagram and everything. And one day I'm just kind of just just chilling, and I get a message from this guy named Rob, and he's like, "Hey man, you ever hunt pronghorn?" And I was like, "Nah." And he was like, "We should go out one time." And I'm like, "All right, what I'm saying? Yeah, cool." But what I'm saying, didn't I don't know this man, so like I'm not going hunting with you. So kind of let it go, and I end up going out to Rapid City for
Okay.
work, and I go into this cookie shop, and this guy walks up, he goes, "Hey DeAndre." Well, one, if I know you don't really know me because not many people call me by my government name. So so I was like, hey, he goes, "You live out here?" And I'm like, "Nah, I live in Sioux Falls." And he was like, "Oh,
Yep.
okay, cool, cool." And I just walk off.
Yep.
So I get in the car and I get a message on Instagram. It's from the Rob guy. Said, "Hey man, you was in my cookie shop."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh." So we started chatting up, and he was like, "Hey, you think about that antelope hunt?"
Yep.
And I'm like, "No, I hadn't really thought about it." And he goes, "Dude, get a tag, we'll go." So I was
Yeah.
like, "All right." So put in for a tag, I get one, which was crazy because I figured I didn't have any preference points or anything like that, but I ended
Yep.
up getting it. So me and this guy, we talk on the phone, and became like good friends, like texting back and forth all the time.
Mhm.
And they finally came. I went out, met his family, um, hopped in the truck, and went hunting.
Nice.
We didn't see nothing, man. I'm like, man, I didn't drove. I'm in my head thinking, I didn't drove way out here, man. We ain't seen nothing, but I'm having a good time because I'm actually getting to meet Rob. We're talking, sharing our stories about our background, where we from,
Yep.
and I'm thinking, man, this dude's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we it starts raining, and we still don't. And we see a herd, but they're on private land, so we're like, ah, it's a wrap.
Yep.
So go have lunch, and after we get lunch, we're kind of driving down a dirt road, and we see this pronghorn sit on top of this hill. And I'm like, man, he's like that. He's nice. I'm like, yeah. So we pull up the Onyx map. Dang, it's on private land.
Darn.
But at this point, we're desperate. We're like, you know
Yeah.
what? Do you use Onyx map?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Yo,
yeah.
Onyx,
You have
best
to.
spoken. So we actually find the landowner, and we talk to him, and he's just like, guys drive up and down this road all the time. They not many people think they can stop and ask. And he goes, "I don't care. Yeah, go hunt." So we sat and talked to him for a minute, and we go back out.
Yeah.
Well, by the time we get back to that spot, he's gone. I'm like, "Oh man, we missed him."
Yep.
So we started driving down the road, and I don't know how Rob saw him, but he looked in his side mirror, and he goes, "Dude, he's out there in the middle of the field."
Yeah.
So we hop out the truck, and we get a game plan, and it's like, "All right, let's do it." So we started walking, and we started going up the hill that the antelope was on. So we started walking up that hill, and we get halfway up the hill, and Rob's like, "We got to get flat because we don't want him to spot us at the top of the hill." It's like, all right, so we crawling, hands and knees, boom, boom, army crawling. We get to the top, and the wind's blowing. I see the antelope, and Rob ranges him. And at this time, I'm confident. I didn't been to the range. I didn't shot my 30-06 a couple times. I know it like the back of my hand. Like I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And Rob looks at me. He goes, "How good are you with that rifle?" As soon as he said that, all confidence was gone. I'm like, uh, yeah, I'm pretty good with it. I was like, "How far the shot?" He was it's like 178. I'm like, I got this. I got this.
Yeah.
So get him in the crosshairs and sitting there. And he at this point he's sitting down, and wow, and he jumps up, and he just falls back and just starts kicking, and boom, he's done. I'm like, oh snap, it's a wrap. So we
Yeah.
get up, we're celebrating, yeah. And then I look at Rob, and he's looking towards the antelope, and I look, he goes, he's up now, and he's up on his feet, and Rob's like, put another one in, put another one in. So I put another one in the chamber, get back down, get him sighted. Wow, got him again,
Yeah.
dropped him. And
Nice.
at first I wasn't really like, I was hoping like this, I was gonna be excited and everything, but nothing, it didn't hit me. I was like, this, the hunt's over, you know. And then we walked up on it, and as soon as I like grabbed them, like all the emotion, like I had to stop from crying. I've never really cried, you know, hunting, but just all the work that we put in, you know, just even the build up to how me and Rob even met, you know what I'm saying? And all that, like, man, I killed my first my first pronghorn, my first antelope. And I'm just excited, you know. And we got them packed out, and then the guy that owned the land, he came up and he actually helped us. He put it on the back of the truck. We drove out, and we sat and talked to him for a while, and it was just, it was amazing. And then we went back to Rob's house, and he had took out some antelope before, and we made antelope pronghorn burgers.
Nice.
And just sat there and ate and was just, you know, talking, and it was just it's just a wild experience, you know what I'm saying? Like how did just be real, just how did a black guy from Northeast Texas end up connecting with a white guy from, you know, Rapid City, South Dakota? Hunting brought us together, became friends, and he helped me get my first antelope. It's just a story and a hunt that I'll never forget. It's like, definitely one of the top moments in my life, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I think I tried antelope this year, man, and it was the best. Gosh, most tender, succulent meat. It just, God, it's just so good, so good.
It is, and the crazy part, like I was like, once I got home, and I said, oh, I'm gonna wait till later eat. I'm like, nah, I'm eating something today. So I took a piece of backstrap out and seasoned it up, put it on the smoker, and I'm thinking it's gonna, like, you know, that they call them speed goats. So, you know, I'm thinking it's gonna have a similar taste to goat.
Yeah.
And, you know, took it off the grill, let it rest a little bit, and took the first bite. I'm like, oh my goodness. I mean, just like tender, like there's no gamey taste. It just succulent. I'm like, oh my gosh. And like I got one antelope, and I'm telling you, I treat that meat like gold. Only on special occasions. only on special occasions.
I can imagine that one, man. I can imagine that for sure.
So are there pronghorns in Colorado?
Oh yeah, man. I think we got the biggest population in the US.
Y'all got the biggest population of everything. Biggest population of elk, pronghorn. Man, like
black bears. We got the biggest black bear population too.
So have you went out and hunted any bears?
I did. I had 2 tags. I was unsuccessful. I didn't see one. I had some on trail camera, like way out in April and May, and when the season came, I didn't see him. But I had a friend who killed one. His son killed one. They gave me a lot of meat actually, but it was pretty good.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, how does bear taste? I've never had it.
So far, all I did is make it in spaghetti, and it was good. I couldn't tell the difference.
I'm telling you, I'd rather substitute wild game meat for beef any day. Like I'll have deer, elk, I'll have that over, you know, beef, store-bought beef any day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. So what made you move from Missouri to Colorado?
Work. I worked for Waffle House, and the store I was at in Missouri closed down due to COVID, so I had to move if I wanted to stay with that company. And I could either at the time I can go to like St. Louis or Kansas City, and I got 2 pit bulls, and man, it just didn't. The places that will let you rent in those two or three places I was just mentioning, they just didn't look like they were the safest, I would say.
Yeah.
So I was like, is there anything else on the board? Like, I don't know. I've been saying I wanted to move to Colorado, and happened to make some phone calls, and they had a store open, so I came here.
Oh, nice, man. Hey, Waffle House, man. I got a lot of nights, man. Waffle House and saved my life.
Yeah.
Hey, and no matter where I go, I get the same thing. All Star special,
Yeah.
I get my hash brown smother covered in top, and cheese on my eggs. That's
Yeah.
every time, man.
Yeah.
That's what I want, man. And there's like like I was back home hunting one time down in down in Arkansas,
So,
and I just didn't see nothing all day.
yep.
Just depressed. And we don't have Waffle House in South Dakota, so I'm like,
Oh man.
like, I didn't came all the way down here. I'm gonna go back home. My mom and them gonna be like, you didn't kill nothing. So before I went home, I stopped at the Waffle House and kind of just drowned my sorrows, man. And like made me feel better though. It's like, well, I didn't get a deer, but I got Waffle House.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it. So hey, you mentioned that you saw some bear on the game cam.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but it's been a bit here lately. The last couple of weeks has been a big thing. Certain states are now banning the use of game cameras.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's kind of weird. I don't know. I'm kind of torn in between the two because in Missouri, I don't own any land or anything, and on public land, you're not allowed to use game cameras. So I
Okay.
really didn't use them. So I was really happy to start using them here in Colorado. And I don't know. I don't think that they should be banned though. I I agree with the ones that say that you can't use the cellular camera. The ones with the cell signal. Like
Yeah,
actually,
like Spylink and
yeah,
Reconic.
yeah. I mean, you can use them outside of season or use them. You know what I mean? Basically, if you're not hunting that specific animal, but that's about it. I think that they should be used because I mean it gives you insight on what's in the area.
Right.
Save you time. It's a good tool.
Yeah, it's a good tool, and I when I first saw it, I didn't understand it. I was like, why are they upset about game cameras? And then the more I read about it, and there was like, a regular game cam
Mhm.
is they said it's fine. But
Yeah,
then, but then when you get into the whole like I said, the spy links, Roconics, where you can get real time footage. Okay, this deer is at my feeder now, or this deer is in my food plot now.
yep,
You can just basically go and
yeah,
go and get them. And to that point, I still don't see what's wrong with it. I mean, I think with
yeah,
anything, people going to abuse the system, and I think that's what's happening.
yep,
But I don't know. They say it ruins the chase or it ruins the fair chase. Their fair chase policy. But I
yeah,
mean, when you think about what compared to what we have now, compared
mhm.
to what the guys had, say, 50, 60 years ago, I still think we have an upper hand on the stuff that we use.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you think about it, like the optics are crazy now.
oh yeah,
You can see further, zoom in. You can get right into the deer's nose if you want to
yep,
with some of these scopes.
yeah,
As far as archery, I mean, these bows are faster than anything that we've seen. And then if you add crossbows into the mix, to
no,
me, crossbow is
that's up there.
That's a rifle that shoots a bow. I mean, that shoots an arrow. That's it.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen guys take 100-yard shots with
oh
a
yeah,
crossbow, and it's like wow.
yeah,
But I can understand it to a point, but to take all game cameras away, I just think
yeah,
that's kind of overstepping it.
yeah, and it's so vast too because every place is different. It seems like. Um, Some places don't, you're not allowed to use it at all. Some of them you're not allowed to use it during season. Some of them just can't use the ones the cellular communication. So if they came up with like something, I guess even across a playing field to where somebody in the next state over or the next county over don't get left out on the advantages that the next person does get to take advantage of. I think that'd probably be better for everybody. I think.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen is you're going to start getting people complaining because, like, say you live in Utah, you can't use cameras now. Actually,
Yeah.
Arizona and Utah just banned them. So if
Yeah.
you're,
If,
saying
I,
if
if
you're in,
I'm hunting in Arizona or Utah, I think I want the camera, man, because it's
I
dry.
gotta see what's out there. I kid you not. When I go through my game cam footage, I get so freaked out. Like, I hope I don't see like a mountain lion or like a bear or something crazy. Like when we don't have, I mean, we have bears in South Dakota, but they're on the far west side of the state, like close to the Wyoming border.
Mhm.
But still, animals don't know any boundaries. They just
Yeah.
walk.
Yeah.
So like, I hope I don't see like a mountain lion or anything like that. But if I do, like, at least I know it's out there, so I can be on the look. If I don't know at all, I'm walking in blind.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. And then, so on top of banning the game cams, they're also
Mhm.
banning the smart Bluetooth scopes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. How do
And
you feel about that one? I don't know because
now
I'm a
that
little bit. I don't know.
see, I'm fine with it because I didn't buy one. I'm not gonna lie. I was like this close to buying one. I was like, I'm getting that for sure.
Yeah.
But I didn't pull a trigger. I went for a vortex scope instead.
Yep.
But I didn't understand it. But once I started reading, it was like, the average hunter, the rifle hunter, normally wouldn't take a shot past, 200 yards. 200 yards that's going to be at the top of um their maximum range that they're going to shoot.
Yep.
Now, if you're a guy that goes out and you practice the 400 or 500 yards, you fine taking that shot.
Mhm.
But we're talking about your average hunter. So he's capped out at 200. That's all he's gonna shoot with us, a regular scope. Now you give him that, that Bluetooth scope, that smart scope. He gonna push it to 400 or 500 yards because he's gonna believe in that scope, thinking all I gotta is gonna tell me where to put it, and I'm taking it. And now I can see for there is now you're taking the average hunter and you're giving him a huge advantage that he wouldn't normally have if he had it's a regular scope.
Yep. I
So
agree.
I think that's where that's where they see it at. But
Yep.
if I'm one of those companies that make one of them scopes, I'm pretty upset because I didn't invested a whole lot of money into this technology that
Yep.
potentially could be banned here in the next couple, be banned in the next couple of years. But then you have Boone and Crockett that says if you take a trophy using any of this technology, your animal will not be or your harvest will not be scored on Boone and Crockett. They're not going to score it, or it's not
Wow.
going to be disqualified.
Whew. Man, it's disheartening, man.
Yeah, it's wild. It's definitely changing up the hunt industry, and I do
Yep.
think that for a long time we were comfortable with all the technology coming out, and I don't
Mhm.
think a lot of hunters realize like the more advanced the technology gets, the less it is going to decrease
Yeah.
the fair chase value. I guess what you can call it.
Yeah.
'Cause I
And
mean,
it's similar here when right when I was getting in archery, I noticed that they had that Garmin scope that calculates the range and all that stuff.
yeah.
One of those electric sights, and I was looking at it. I was like, man, that would be cool. That would be cool to have. You don't need the range finder. You just use your bow and just take care of it. And then Colorado is completely the opposite. They don't want like anything like that on your bow at all. You can't have any lights. But I don't know, Missouri, they don't care about that stuff. But it's
Yeah, in South Dakota, it's a no go. You cannot have any holographic sight or any
yeah,
kind of electronic sight at all. Which
yeah,
I appreciate that, and
yeah,
I'm like you. I thought about getting one of those lights too. And the guy that owns the archery range that I go to, he was like, "It's a good sight." He said, "But you're gonna pay $1,000 off rip
yeah.
for the sight."
Oh yeah.
And he goes, "Let's say you forget to say your battery dies while you're out there."
Hmm.
You can use it because your pin is electronic. It's so it
Yeah,
pops up on that on the lens. So
yep,
if your battery dies, you're SOL.
yeah,
So that's what turned me off. I was like, oh, I don't want that.
yeah,
But
for sure.
but have you heard of the Easy V?
Easy V. Is that the one that the Brandon? I mean, the archery guy on YouTube makes his own grip. The B Brandon B. Is that his scope or whatever?
No, I think that's called it's the not elite. Oh my god, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you
It's
know what I'm talking. Okay.
Chris B.
Chris B. Yeah, Chris
Yeah.
B.
I can't remember the name of it, but no, it's not that. So this one is this is a guy named I don't know his last name. I know his first name was Aaron, but he created this site, and it's basically it's just it's a circle. In the middle of the circle, it's got a V, and it uses stadium metric measurement. So you don't have all you have to do is line the vitals up into that V and let the arrow go. It's like it's witchcraft, man.
Wow.
one of my buddies, he swears by it, and for probably the last like 2 years, he's been on me like, bro, you gotta switch to the Easy V. And it's one of those things where like I depend on my pins. Like I when I started archery, I used the pins. That's what I know, and just like it's just a V, and you line up the vitals in it, and I'm like, I don't know how that works. My brain can't calculate how that works, so I don't want to switch to it. But the more since I've been looking into it, and I'm starting to see a whole lot of people are switching to it.
Yeah,
and it's like, and you don't have the range at all.
Wow,
you just fill the V up, let it fly.
Whew. Man, I'm gonna have to look that one up. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, man, and I've watched him, shoot his bow. He has like a little chart, like a target in his garage, and he had me put one up and was like, fill it up, and once you do it, it's the vitals. I mean, it's there, and I mean, you'll get nice, 3-inch groups just right on top of each other. So I mean, it works. If I get one, I gotta get it now and play with it up until the season to get comfortable with it.
Yeah, man.
So, what brand bow do you shoot? What's your brand of choice?
I started out with a Matthews, then I got a Hoyt, and I went back to Matthews. And I still got my last year's Matthews V3.
Hey, V3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
I like it, man. I had no complaints about none of the bows I've shot though, but it's nice. I would say, well, I got the bigger model, the 31.
31 and a half?
Yep.
Yep.
And man, I can shoot. I've never taken anything over 100 yards, but at the archery range, I can go up to 100, and I can hit consistently. So I was like,
yeah, it is a fast shoot, and it's a flat bow. I mean, it's flat.
Yeah, string angle's good. It's quiet, man, quiet as can be.
Yeah, when I got mine, I was shooting at the range, and there was this guy next to me, and he goes, "When you gonna shoot that bow?" And I'm like, "I've already shot it." He goes, "What?" Because he was working on his bow.
Yep.
And he was like, "Shoot that thing one time for me." So I knocked the arrow, shot. He goes, "Man, that's one of the quietest bows I've ever heard." Yeah. He was like, "How's the hand feel?" I'm like, "It's dead in my hands. I don't feel nothing. It's just, I love it." But I'm coming. But I started out with a Mission.
Okay.
Yeah. So going from Mission to Matthews, I'll say I went from a Honda to a Cadillac, because to me, a Honda to a Cadillac, because that V3 it's amazing, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But people, and it's a big thing in the archery industry.
Mm-hmm.
People and we do it with everything else in our lives. They stick to brands and they say, "Well, this is my brand. All the other brands are trash."
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, and you just said it, you hadn't had any complaints with any brand. I mean, they all shoot well. It gets to the point where it's just preference.
Yep. Yeah. Preference, and then I guess the advancing in technology. My first bow, the Matthews, it was a Z3. No complaints on it, man. So many people love that bow. But
what's it called?
The Z3, Matthews Z3.
Z3. Yeah, I gotta look that one
Solo
up.
cam, the last solo cam that they made.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Well, you know
and
what? I know a lot of guys. I didn't know it was called the Z3, but I know a lot of guys at the archery range. They shoot. I don't, and it might be not be the Z3, but it's
uh,
one of the Matthew solo cams that they made, and they
yeah,
swear by it. It's like I
yeah,
will never go to a dual cam bow. I'm always gonna shoot solo cam, and a lot
yeah,
of people believe that the solo cam was one of the best bows that Matthews made. That series of bows.
yep. I can
So
see why they can say it too, because I mean it's still quiet. I mean, what a little bit slower than what we have now, but man, they kill deer.
yeah, hey,
Equally.
well, I say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you got something that's constantly putting animals down, you don't gotta
Yep.
switch.
No.
And which that's it always confused me why the archery companies put a new bow out every single year. It's like you just put a bow out last year and it's still good. It's good. Why put something out? Like I was very shocked when Matthews came out with the V3X. I was like, what? I don't know. I'm not talking bad about Matthews, you know what I'm saying? But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, was it needed? Because
Yeah.
what did y'all? I mean, what did you? Was it? It's been what 2 years since the V3 been out, or a year?
Yeah. 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year. So
Yeah.
what did y'all learn in a year that y'all didn't have when y'all released the V3? Because
Yeah.
they only added there's like these hooks on the cams where you can actually do field adjustments without using a bow press.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
they have the dovetail lock where you can go,
dovetail
yeah,
and the different sizes now. There's
I think you go to 33 inches,
33 or something like that.
33 and 29.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And I've seen it. I picked it up. The shop that I go to, he don't ever set a bow up so you just test drive it. But I'm gonna keep poking at him. Like, hey man, let me test drive. I just want to test drive it once. Just give me one arrow won't hurt.
Yeah. Yeah,
One arrow
I
won't
shot
hurt
it,
at all.
man. I don't know. I couldn't tell a big. I didn't see a big difference from the regular V3. So I don't know. I haven't decided on if I'm gonna upgrade. I'm gonna upgrade yet, but I want to see what Hoyt's got this year too, though. But man,
Yeah, like I've there's not many bow shops around here that carry Hoyt.
yep,
I think we have a place called Shields. They carry them,
yep.
but I think that's about it. We only have three bow shops in town, and I think only
Okay.
Shields carries Hoyt. And I've just never, I've never shot one, but they both look nice.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think at this point in the archery industry, I
Yep.
think the technology, like they closed that gap. So
Yeah.
now it's only like small changes. I mean, they've made leaps and bounds over the last say 30 years. That to
Yep.
this point, it's like
Yeah. Everything's
it's
incremental.
yep, it's incremental changes at this point, very small changes. But those small changes could make a difference. I
Yeah.
think the next advancement is going to be in the arrows.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
gotta be
maybe getting
something.
straighter arrows or who knows, faster flying, lighter arrows. I don't know what's to come next, but I think it's going to be in the accessory games, sights,
Yeah.
arrows, broadheads, and all that.
Oh yeah. What's
Oh yeah.
your what are you guys' plans for this year? What's the goals for you guys as far as hunting?
So for me,
Yep.
I'm gonna get into filming my hunts. Like
Filming? Okay.
yep, filming. So I got a camera for Christmas, and
Nice.
I gotta go out and get the tree arm and learn how to do self hunt. I mean self filming.
Yeah.
And so learning that, really learning food plots.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I kind of got into it, dabbled in it this year. Well, I dabbled into it. I started 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I had no no kind of tractor or plow or nothing like that or tiller. So I was out there with a rake and a hoe, just kind of breaking the ground up. I said I threw that in the wind. I threw some seed down, didn't grow, so I was done with it. The next year, was able to get a small tractor, tilt. First I cleared the ground out, killed all the weeds and stuff, then tilled it up, and I planted clover, turnips, rape, winter wheat, and soybean.
Okay.
And it kind of grew in patches, but then I learned like I didn't test the pH in the soil, and I didn't
Mm-hmm.
put any fertilizer down, nothing like that. So just this year, really digging into the food plot, the food plot part of hunting, and then tree stand placement. Because I
Okay.
just go out and this year just went out and just threw tree stands up. Really
Yeah.
didn't have a strategy to what I was doing, and
Mm.
so this year, putting certain tree stands in certain spots where how the wind blows. Because I hunt down in this creek,
Okay.
and you might have a wind coming out the west, but for some reason down in that creek it spins. So finding locations like I know in this tree stand, even though the wind's coming out of the west, it spins back towards the into the food plot. So I need to have a tree stand on the other side where it's not spinning. So I kind of got those spots marked on my map where the wind blows, but who knows, that could change with a tree could fall down and that change everything. So
Oh yeah.
really, getting good stand placement and then learning how to pattern the deer on the farm.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And get a public land deer. That's my goal. Public
Public
land deer.
land deer. Yeah.
Yep. I'm coming back to Colorado. I gotta come back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. Oh yeah.
What about you? What are some plans you have for the
Ah,
2022
man, I
season?
think the biggest one, I just can't stop thinking about it every day, is to kill it, to kill a bull.
Yeah,
That's the biggest one. I don't know. Just be more versatile. I think. I don't know. I learned a lot for sure, but actually being able to stay on a mountain for 5 6 days at a time without having to come back down to the truck, drive. I don't know, go get a burger or something like that. I
yeah,
think.
man. I learned to love those what's that, Mountain House,
Yeah.
Mountain House meals. Hey,
Oh
the
yeah, you put me on that one, man. The chili max.
and chili
I
mac.
had-
Hey, the chili mac is where it's at. I'm
yeah,
telling you.
for sure.
Hey, that's one of the things also that I want to is my pack.
Pack. Okay.
How to get everything in where you, like you said, where you don't have to come back down.
Yeah.
Because I think we found ourselves, sometimes like we hike in, like, man, let's get in the truck and let's go to Walmart, and we camp out at the Walmart parking lot after we didn't, already hiked in, so many miles, and we hike back in out in the dark, get to the truck, go to Walmart, get some stuff, sit in the parking lot, eat, and then sleep in the truck. It's like, no, we gotta go out there. We gotta like stay camped in and get deep in amongst them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
do you how what's the longest you stayed on the mountain?
I think about 3 days.
Ooh, man. In,
Yeah.
in a tent?
Yeah.
Man. Hey, I know. So no, you're in Colorado. Have you seen those guys that pull up and they got the big wall tent
Oh
and they
yeah,
got
man.
the grill out there and the griddle and
Yeah.
TV? I'm like, man, y'all ain't roughing it.
Or you see some people, they just got a full blown tempered camper on the back of the truck. I was like, man, I don't know. I don't even think I want to get one of those.
No, I think for me, and I'm not knocking anybody that's got a camper or anything like that, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I want to rough it. Like,
yeah.
you know
Actually,
what I'm
get
saying?
back
Like
in
be out
there,
there in the
five,
tent.
10 miles, got it all figured out.
Yep. I just
Yeah,
just like I said, don't shower for 3-4 days. You know what I'm saying? Just come out and just come walking out with the big bull on my back. Like that's hey, that's how I want to get mine. Then once I get my first bull and I start getting comfortable, then I might get a big wall tent or a camper. But till then,
yeah.
I gotta rough it these first couple hunts,
Got to rough it, man.
man. So did you ever get a shot at any bulls this year?
No, man. I came the closest I came when I first started getting into elk. Man, I was walking into this one spot and I heard some trees, tree branches breaking and everything like that. And all I was doing was cow calling, and I didn't see anything for about 20 or 30 minutes. The next thing I know, a little bitty calf came busting out of the trees to my calf call. I mean, to my cow call. And I mean, I wasn't even expecting this at all. I had no
Yeah.
idea that this was gonna happen. So I got one of those dollars, and I don't know, I was dialed way out to like 50 already. So I couldn't even. I drew back, but I was like, oh man, there's no way that I can even set this up to even shoot this calf.
Yeah.
But that was the craziest one. And then a few days later, I was hiking around, and I had no idea that elk would be active during the day. I mean, you know that they call it the Midday Madness, basically. And
Yeah.
I had no idea until I experienced it because I was maybe a mile away, and it's like 10 or 11 o'clock, and I can just hear bugles off in the distance. And I was like, I can see everything. I don't think that there's a hunter. I mean, so I had to. It probably took me an hour and a half to get over there to where they were.
Yeah.
And came back later that night. One of my friends who can actually call really good, and I got close. I was probably 40 yards. It was just really thick brush, and I couldn't see him. And eventually, I could see a small outline of the body. I couldn't see the antlers though. He was just creeping away, just kind of walking away like he was
Yeah.
done with the whole encounter. That was the closest I got though.
Oh man. See, we had an encounter the first day.
The first day, wow.
Like I'm gonna say first day, 5 minutes into the hunt. That's we pulled up the little spot off the road.
Yep.
So getting our stuff ready. My buddy goes to use the bathroom. So while he's over there, I'm getting my pack ready, and I hear a limb break. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh snap! Like some they moving. So I'm looking across the road because I see where it's coming from, and it's like we're on one side of the road and it's dirt road and the other side. So I'm looking and I see a coyote. No, it was a fox. It was a fox, and he looking at me. I'm like, I know that fox didn't make that noise. So he looking at me and he's kind of creeping down the road. And like as he walks, I'm watching him walk by, and then boom, I see this cow. She just walks out the tree line, walks across the road, and walk over into our unit. Because where we were hunting at on the other side of the road is unit 61, and then we were 62.
Okay.
We were like right on the unit line.
Yeah.
So she walks and runs across the road, and then right behind her, this bull comes walking out. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like it. We finna do it like this. So as soon as I go, I'm gonna knock an arrow. Like if you walk across this road and come to my side, I'm getting you.
Yeah.
And he like stopped, and I'm kind of behind the truck, so he can't see me. And then I hear this 4-wheeler come up the road, and he just hightails it right. He just turns around and gives back into the unit. And this guy pulls up, he stops, he goes, y'all see that bull? I'm like, yeah, I saw the bull. I was getting ready to put him down, and you scared him off. And then we started going back south, and we saw probably about, I'd say about 50, 60 yards in front. I could see the back of something walking, but the woods were thick, but I could see the back walking. I couldn't see any antlers. I said it could have been a cow, could have been a bull, I don't know.
Yep.
And it just walked. And I'm thinking, so I'm like, it's walking this way, so I'm gonna try to cut it off. And I'm walking, and it's like it just vanished.
Yeah.
And so like that was the first encounter. And then that day we hiked in. I bet we walked 10, 15 miles and just nothing. I'm like, man, this is just getting rough. So we just heading back to the truck.
Yep.
And my buddy looked, he goes, yo, look. And we look up to the left, and it's this, I want to say he was a 4x4. He has a 4x4. He comes hauling in. We hadn't even calling. We just happened to cross paths. And we ranged him, he's at 80 yards. And in a matter of seconds, he closed that gap, and he was like right on top of us about 30 yards. So I'm thinking, all right, so we're trying to get set, and then he stops, and then he starts walking to the left, and there was like these row of pine trees. So as he's walking behind the pine trees, I'm getting set up, and I'm trying to think, should I range him or what? And I didn't have time to range him. Like I'm just gonna just guess it.
Yeah.
Well, he stopped right at the end of the pine tree, so I could see his head, but his body was blocked by the tree. And I'm like, man, come on, one more step. And then the wind hit the back of my neck and blew my scent right towards him. And he hightailed it out. He was gone. And that was the last. That was the last elk we saw that whole week.
Wow,
Yep.
man.
But
Whew.
that whole time he's walking, I'm just sitting there, just my legs feel heavy.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, this is it. And I would have gladly taken that 4x4. It'd have been my first one. I'd
yep,
have been I'd been fine.
yeah. Oh yeah, man.
It'd been fine. We had bear tags too, but we didn't see
Yeah.
one bear at all.
You see any sign?
We
Any?
saw we saw some scrapes on the tree. We saw a few things of scat, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's about the same experience I had too when it actually came to season. I was like, man, these. I'm seeing a scat, but I was like, I don't see the bear. It's fresh too. I'm like, I
Yep.
still don't see a bear.
Yeah, I forgot where we went. We were out by Colorado Springs, and I cannot remember the name of the trailhead we were at. But when you first pull into the parking area, they had like plum trees um and like berry bushes and a bunch of stuff. I'm thinking this is where the bear going to be.
Yeah,
And we saw bear scat, but it was old,
yeah,
and we was like we didn't see nothing out there. Like, and the guy told us that that particular area, the elk they pass through it, but
mhm,
they don't sleep there or anything like that.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty. Yeah, it sounds like Colorado Springs.
In which I actually when in high school, I was actually going to. I had a chance to go to the Air Force Academy, so I was
Mhm.
going to live in Colorado Springs. But after my visit, I'm like, I don't want to live in Colorado. I think I got sick. I think that the altitude kind of messed me up.
Yeah, yeah. I had when I first came to. I was like, man, you can't take 5 steps without just feeling like tilt just tipped over or something.
Yeah. So do you train for the elk hunt? Like, do you need like workouts or running or anything?
No, I did a lot of hiking in the mountains before, but now I'm gonna get back in the gym now. Just
Yeah.
I don't know, see if that'll help. But after I don't know, it seemed like I'm able to walk up and down them for a long time. I can do all that stuff. It just I had a few instances like to where I'm like I need to be running. I need to get over here like a lot faster than what I'm
Yeah.
moving. I'm capable of moving, man. So
It's wild to me. Like when I watch those hunting shows, it's like there's these guys called born and raised
yeah,
outdoors,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like 5 or 6 of them in the woods hunting. And I'm like, how y'all moving? Like y'all just it's so many of y'all. How are y'all having so much success? But they
Yeah, oh, yeah.
they they figured out they got the recipe, man.
Oh yeah, man.
They got the recipe.
The calling, I don't know, man. Some people say don't call, but man, they call every time, and it seems
Yep.
to work for them.
And that's the thing with hunting. Like you can talk to 5 or 50 different people, and you're gonna get 50 different answers on what you should do. Some
Yeah,
guys say don't call. Some guys say call as much as possible. Some
yeah,
guys say well call, but use this kind of call.
yeah,
And it's like what do I do? Like somebody give me a solid answer because
yeah,
I'll get out there and I'm like, well, this guy said do this, so I try that. Oh, that didn't work. Well, this guy said do this, or that didn't work. And you just trying so many different things where all of a sudden your head gets all boggled up and you just like, I don't really have a plan.
yeah, yeah.
So do you have like a bucket list of hunts, like a list of hunts that you want to do before you get too old?
Yeah, I think the moose, or the bighorn sheep for sure, man. Because I got a friend who he killed the bighorn sheep like right here in Colorado Springs, man. And this thing has got. I didn't even realize that the horns could be that big, but I mean they go all the way around and come through. You got the full curl with I mean the bases are like this big, and I was
Yeah.
just like, man, it's got to be that or that moose hunt.
Oh, dude, I would love to take down a moose, man.
Oh yeah,
A caribou.
yeah,
I'm supposed to be going to Canada in August to black bear hunt,
nice.
but
That'd
I
be a
don't
good
know
one, man.
what the status with COVID and the border is going to be like. So got to figure that out.
Yep.
But well, with the bighorn sheep, doesn't it have a full curl for it to be legal?
I'm not sure. I know there is some species of sheep, and maybe the Dall sheep, to where they got to have a full curl. But
yeah, I would, man, a bighorn sheep. I would love to get a red stag.
yeah, that'd be nice.
Yep, that'd be wild.
Oh yeah,
Or
man.
what you call it, a
The
grizzly.
grizzly in Alaska.
Yeah, man. Hey, if you ever come to South Dakota and you find yourself in the Black Hills, you got to stop by Black Hills Archery and talk to
Okay.
Al. He's the owner. He killed the third largest grizzly bear in the world
Wow.
with his
Oh
bow.
man.
With his bow, and the bear was 90 feet from him.
Wow. Oh man.
You gotta check it out, and it's like when he tells a story, you
Yep.
start getting goosebumps. Like, man, and then you know he'll take you in the back and show you the video too,
Yeah.
and it's pretty epic. You like, man, yeah, you was like on the verge of death, man.
Oh man.
A big grizzly, go to Kodiak Island or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, that'd be it, man.
for sure.
It's just like it's so much. It's so many things to hunt, and I mean, we got so little time to do it. That's the crazy part about it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of things are so limited too, man. It's a big investment.
Oh yeah, it's a big because some of the hunts, man, you talking about a half year of salary, and you talking about $30,000, $40,000. That's a lot of money, dude. And I better get something. I bet. Hey, you got to guarantee me something, man.
I guarantee it.
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah.
have you ever thought about like doing like a high fence hunt? You ever is that not in
High
your
fence?
yeah?
No. I haven't thought about that. Maybe private land, man. I don't know. The high fence is just I don't know. I don't get the same adrenaline rush to about thinking about it as far as but I don't know. From everything I hear that, the animals ain't they're usually not any dumber than the ones on public land as far as
Yeah.
actually, getting in on them and everything.
No,
But
I think just with the high fence, I think the reason people kind of have that side eyes, the people that run that farm, they know those deer like the back of their hand. They know where they
yeah,
sleep, where they
yep,
eat. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? All that. So hey, I'm gonna sit you here in about 45 minutes, be ready to shoot. And it's like, oh man, it's not really hunting. But I mean, I guess if you're older, if you're
yeah,
older guy, it's all for you because once you get up in age,
yep,
it's hard to walk up the mountains.
yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
mean, it's hard. So I know you do a lot of fishing too.
yeah,
So do you just bass fish or just like any kind of
yeah.
fish?
When I was in Missouri, man, that's all I did was bass fish. At least 2 or 3 times a week, it seemed like I would you catch me fishing. But uh, the learning curve here in Colorado, man, as far as fly fishing, I've been out. If I'm with somebody who know what they're doing, I can catch fish all day. If I go by myself, I can't catch a single one.
Yeah.
So I got to figure it out, man. Yeah, I do want to get back into it because it's a lot. I mean, it's so many places you can go here to catch these big trout and everything, and salmon and all this crap. And I'm like, man, the species game is very diverse for sure.
Oh you right in the thick of it. You got a little bit of everything in Colorado, man. You moved to the perfect spot. I think, man, once if I get the opportunity, I would definitely move to Colorado, get me a cabin
Yeah,
somewhere with a little bit of land and where I got enough I can fish and
yep,
hunt. I don't need
yeah,
nothing else, man. Just
yeah, man.
my dog and my bow and the rifle. My bow and the rifle, and I'm good. And some
Yeah,
fishing
man,
poles.
for sure.
Oh man, I was gonna ask you something. Oh, so fly fishing.
Yeah.
So do you make your own flies or do you go to store and buy them?
Uh, I haven't learned how to make them yet. I got the friends that I do go with. They make all their own stuff, man.
Yeah, that's what I've
Yeah,
heard. I've heard that like you can go buy them, but when you make them, if you fish a certain place and I think what's called the hatch.
mhm.
I think it's what's called. I'm not big into fly fish. I don't know too much about it, but
Yeah,
if you can make the fly to what's in natural area, it seems like they have more success that way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Then whenever they're spawning too, if you catch them in that breeding right after the breeding season or whatever, when they're sitting on these I forget what they call them, man. It's like whenever I went, they had these big white patches in the water. You can only see them with your polarized sunglasses,
Yeah,
and you like just lightly cast, and you can see the lure going right on top, and then
they hit
fish
it.
grabs it, and the next thing you know, you got a trout like this big. It's just like, man, you're just doing it over and over again. I'm like, man, this is really fun.
Oh yeah, it seems fun. I've had people invite me out, and I just haven't got a chance to go do it. But that's on my list this year is to learn how to fly fish. And
Yeah,
I being in South Dakota, I haven't worked the nerve up, but ice fishing, I
ice
just
fish.
can't,
Yeah,
not yet, man. I
yeah,
hear too many horror stories, man.
yeah. That's pretty big here too. I haven't been yet though.
Oh yeah, man. I've seen guys out on the Missouri River,
Yep.
and it's like they're fishing in their hole, and like 50 yards from them, the water's open. I'm like, man,
Oh, no.
I don't want to be in it. And I mean, there's guys that got these really nice huts or houses, ice houses, and they
Yep.
sit them out there on the water. I'm like, man, on the ice. I'm like, man, that thing is kind of heavy. And then you sleeping in it.
Yep.
Nah, man, I not yet.
Yeah.
I'll work the nerve eventually. Maybe if I can fish like right off the shore. So if I do go through the ice, I'm in some shallow water.
Oh man, I don't
Yeah,
even want to. I don't want to experience falling in at all, man. Forget that.
hey, it's man, I've heard guys lose their whole trucks, and then you got guys that they actually set fire on the ice.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll build a fire right there. I'm like, now I ain't the smartest man. I learned a little bit in third grade science, and I know heat and ice don't mix. Like, oh no, man, the ice is like 12 inches thick. It's fine. All right, I'm just gonna stay over here. I don't want no part of that, man, at all. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
Clarence, man, and we're gonna wrap the show up. I really appreciate you taking time out of your night to sit and talk with me, man. And
Oh yeah, man.
man, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's hopefully we can get another one in after hunting season, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hey, if I'm out in Colorado, I might have to hit you up, man. Maybe grab something to eat, or hey, maybe you can help me figure out where I can go and get on some bulls too. Because I just want to
Oh yeah.
I just want to
Yeah.
see some. I just want to see
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. I got you, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All
Well,
right.
man, again, man, hey, thanks for taking time out of your night to get on the show, and I look forward to talking to you again.
All righty. You have a good one.
You too. Later, Clarence.
See you.
And we are out.